The invitation was cream-colored, expensive cardstock, gold-embossed lettering. Charlotte Marie Harrison and Trevor James Blackwell request the honor of your presence at their wedding. I stared at that name, Trevor James Blackwell, my ex-fiancé. The man I was supposed to marry 2 years ago, before my sister decided she wanted him instead. And now she was sending me an invitation to their wedding, with a handwritten note in her perfect cursive. I really hope you can be there, sis. It would mean so much to have my maid of honor by my side. I laughed. Actually laughed out loud in my empty apartment, holding this ridiculous invitation. Charlotte wanted me to be her maid of honor at her wedding to my ex-fiancé. The audacity was almost impressive. My roommate Lauren walked in, saw my face, and stopped. What happened? I handed her the invitation. She read it, her jaw dropped. She didn't. She did. Are you going to... Oh, I'm going. I smiled, and Lauren took a step back. I'm absolutely going, and I'm going to be the best damn maid of honor Charlotte's ever seen. Why do I feel like that's a threat? Because it is. My sister took everything from me. My fiancé, my dignity, my parents' respect. She made me look like the bitter, jealous sibling while she played the innocent princess who just happened to fall in love. I stood up, still holding the invitation. So, I'm going to give her exactly what she wants. I'm going to smile and help plan her perfect wedding, and then I'm going to make sure everyone knows exactly who Charlotte really is. Let me explain how we got here. Charlotte is 2 years younger than me, 26 to my 28, and she's always been the pretty one, the popular one, the one everyone loved. Growing up, I was the smart sister, the responsible one. Good grades, scholarship to college, stable job in marketing. I worked hard for everything I had. Charlotte just existed and good things happened to her. Homecoming queen, sorority president, Instagram influencer with 100,000 followers. She never had to try. People just gravitated to her. And I was okay with that, really. We had different strengths, different paths. We got along fine. Until I met Trevor. I met him at a work conference 3 years ago. He was a financial advisor, charming and ambitious. We dated for a year before he proposed. I was thrilled. My family loved him, my parents especially. They said, finally, someone good enough for our Maggie. For once, I had something that made my parents look at me the way they looked at Charlotte. Pride, excitement, genuine happiness. The engagement party was at my parents' house. 50 people, beautiful decorations. Trevor and I were glowing. That's when Charlotte decided she wanted him. It started small. Charlotte asking Trevor questions about his work, laughing at his jokes a little too hard, finding excuses to touch his arm. Your sister's really friendly, Trevor mentioned once. That's just how she is, I said, believing it, trusting both of them. Then Charlotte started having crises that only Trevor could help with. Her car broke down. Could Trevor pick her up? Her laptop crashed. Could Trevor take a look? She needed advice about investments. Could Trevor meet her for coffee? She's your sister, Trevor said when I mentioned it was getting excessive. I'm just helping her out. I know, but what? You don't want me to be nice to your family? I felt guilty, like I was being paranoid, jealous for no reason. Meanwhile, Charlotte was pulling away from me, canceled our weekly dinners, stopped responding to texts. When I asked if something was wrong, she said, I'm just busy, Mags. Don't be so needy. The truth came out 6 months before our wedding. I came home early from a work trip, wanted to surprise Trevor. Found Charlotte in my apartment, wearing my robe, coming out of my bedroom, where Trevor was still getting dressed. The look on her face, not guilty, not ashamed, triumphant. "Oh," she said calmly, "we need to talk." They sat me down in my own living room and explained. They'd fallen in love. It just happened. No one meant to hurt anyone, but the heart wants what the heart wants. "We tried to fight it," Charlotte said, reaching for Trevor's hand. "How long?" I asked. They looked at each other. 4 months, Trevor admitted. 4 months, while I was planning our wedding, picking out flowers, addressing invitations. "I'm sorry, Maggie," Trevor said, "but I can't marry you when I'm in love with someone else. It wouldn't be fair to you." How noble. How considerate. "Get out," I said quietly. "Maggie," Charlotte started, "get out." They left. Together. I sat in that apartment, surrounded by wedding planning magazines and engagement photos, and cried until I couldn't breathe. The aftermath was worse than the betrayal. My parents sat me down 3 days later. "We need to talk about Charlotte and Trevor," my mother said. "There's nothing to talk about. She stole my fiancé." "She didn't steal him, honey. People fall in love. It happens." "She had an affair with him for 4 months while I was planning my wedding?" "That's a bit dramatic," my dad said. "They made a mistake, yes, but they're young and they seem genuinely happy." I stared at them. "You're defending her?" "We're not defending anyone. We're just saying, maybe you should try to be understanding. She's your sister. Family is more important than some guy." "He was not some guy. He was my fiancé. And now he's Charlotte's boyfriend," my mother said gently. "We know this is hard, but maybe it's for the best. Maybe you two weren't right for each other." They'd chosen sides, and it wasn't mine. Charlotte posted about the relationship 2 weeks later. A photo of her and Trevor on the beach, his arms around her, both of them glowing. Caption: "Sometimes love finds you when you least expect it. Heart, new beginnings, happily ever after." 300 comments. All positive. "You guys are so cute. Gorgeous couple. True love." No one mentioned that he'd been engaged to her sister 2 weeks earlier. My friends tried to support me, but even they seemed uncomfortable. "Maybe you should take the high road," one suggested. "Maybe it's better you found out now than after the wedding," another offered. Everyone wanted me to move on, get over it, stop being bitter. But how do you get over your sister destroying your life and everyone acting like it's fine? I threw myself into work, moved to a new apartment, started therapy, slowly rebuilt my life. Trevor and Charlotte's relationship played out on social media like a rom-com. Weekend getaways, couples cooking classes, meeting each other's friends, all documented with perfectly filtered photos and vomit-inducing captions. My parents gushed about them at every family dinner I couldn't avoid attending. "Trevor's doing so well at his firm. Charlotte and Trevor are thinking about getting a dog. Aren't they just perfect together?" I smiled and nodded and died a little inside every time. When Trevor proposed to Charlotte, 1 year after our broken engagement, my mother called me crying. "I'm so happy for her. Aren't you happy for her too?" "Thrilled," I said. "You'll be at the wedding, right? It wouldn't be the same without you." "Wouldn't miss it," I said, because by then I'd decided. I was going to that wedding, and I was going to make Charlotte regret ever crossing me. The invitation arrived 6 months before the wedding, along with the request to be maid of honor. I called Charlotte, put on my sweetest voice. "Oh my God, Charlotte, I'm so honored you want me to be your maid of honor." "Really?" She sounded surprised. "Are you kidding? You're my sister. Of course I want to be there for your special day." That means so much to me, Maggie. I know things have been weird, but I really want us to move past that. Water under the bridge, I lied. And just like that, I was in. Being Charlotte's maid of honor gave me access to everything. The guest list, the vendors, the timeline, the budget, every single detail of her perfect wedding. I was the model sister, helpful, supportive, enthusiastic. I helped her pick out bridal dresses, coordinated the bridal shower, organized the bachelorette party, smiled through dress fittings and cake tastings, and all the while, I was gathering information. Trevor's best man was his brother Kyle. Nice guy. Didn't know about the affair, thought Trevor and Charlotte had started dating after my engagement ended. The maid of honor speech was expected to be heartfelt, emotional, full of stories about the bride and how perfect she and the groom were together. Most of the wedding guests were Charlotte's friends and Trevor's family, people who didn't know me well, who believed the story that Trevor and I just didn't work out. Perfect. 2 months before the wedding, I started phase 2. I reached out to old friends of Trevor's, people he'd known in college, asked innocent questions. How long have you known Trevor? What was he like back then? Did he have any serious girlfriends? That's how I found Melissa, Trevor's ex from college. They'd dated for 3 years. She thought they were going to get married until Trevor ghosted her senior year and started dating someone else 2 weeks later. He told me I was too clingy, Melissa said on our phone call, that he needed space. Then I saw photos of him with this new girl everywhere. It broke me. I'm sorry that happened to you, I said. Why are you asking about Trevor? She said. He's marrying my sister. I just want to make sure she knows what she's getting into. Your sister? Oh, honey, that man doesn't know how to be faithful. He gets bored and moves on to the next shiny thing. I hope she's ready for that. I thanked her and hung up. Then I found Amanda, Trevor's ex from 2 years before me. Same story. Long-term relationship. Talk of marriage. Then Trevor met someone else and left. Clean break, new relationship immediately. He needs to always be in a relationship, Amanda explained, but he also needs constant validation. The second things get routine or comfortable, he finds someone new to chase. The pattern was clear. Trevor didn't love Charlotte. He didn't love me. He loved the chase, the newness, the excitement of something shiny and different, which meant Charlotte's perfect relationship had an expiration date. I just needed to speed it up. 1 month before the wedding, I had lunch with Trevor's mother, Linda. She'd always liked me, cried when we broke up, was politely accepting of Charlotte but never warm. "How are you doing, dear?" she asked, genuine concern in her voice. "I'm good, really. I'm happy for them. Are you?" She looked skeptical. "Can I be honest with you, Linda?" "Of course." "I'm worried about Charlotte. Trevor, he has a pattern. Did you know about Melissa? Amanda? He always does this, gets bored and moves on to the next person." Linda frowned. "I'm not saying this to cause problems. I'm saying it because Charlotte's my sister, and I don't want her to get hurt the way I did, the way his other exes did." I could see the wheels turning in her head. Does Charlotte know about this pattern? I don't think so, and I don't know if I should tell her. I don't want to ruin her happiness, but you're worried he'll do the same thing to her, Linda finished. Exactly. I left that lunch knowing Linda would be watching Trevor carefully, looking for signs, doubting him. The bachelorette party was 2 weeks before the wedding. Cabo San Lucas, 10 bridesmaids, 3 days of drinking and sun and celebration. I was the perfect maid of honor, organized everything, made sure everyone had fun, kept Charlotte happy. The second night, after several rounds of tequila shots, I steered the conversation. "Charlotte, can I ask you something?" "Sure." She was drunk and happy. "Do you ever worry that Trevor might get bored? Like, he left me for you. What if he leaves you for someone else?" Charlotte laughed. "That's different. We have a real connection." "I thought we had a real connection too," I said quietly. The other bridesmaids got uncomfortable. "That's not—" "I didn't mean—" Charlotte backtracked. "I'm just saying he has a pattern. You know about Melissa and Amanda, right? His other exes? What about them? Same thing. Long-term relationship, then he met someone new and left. It's almost like he needs the excitement of a new relationship to feel alive." "You're drunk," Charlotte said, but I could see doubt in her eyes. "Maybe, but I'm also not wrong." The rest of the party was quieter. 1 week before the wedding, everything was planned, the venue was booked, flowers ordered, cake ready, guests arriving. I had my maid of honor speech prepared, 20 minutes long, filled with stories. Stories about Charlotte and me growing up, about how she always wanted what I had, my toys, my friends, my boyfriends. Stories about Trevor, about Melissa, about Amanda, about me, about his pattern of chasing something new and getting bored. Stories about their affair, about how Charlotte started pursuing Trevor while he was engaged to me, about the 4 months of lies. And stories about our parents, about how they chose Charlotte over me, about how they'd always chosen Charlotte, about how family apparently means nothing when the golden child wants something. It was brutal, honest, devastating, and I was going to deliver it in front of 200 guests at Charlotte's reception. The wedding day arrived, beautiful venue, perfect weather. Charlotte looked stunning in her dress. I helped her get ready, fixed her veil, held her bouquet, played the supportive sister. "Thank you for being here," she said, tears in her eyes. "I know things have been hard, but having you here means everything." "Of course," I said, smiling. "Of course. You're my sister." The ceremony was beautiful. Trevor and Charlotte exchanged vows, promised to love each other forever. I stood next to Charlotte, holding her flowers, watching my ex-fiancé marry my sister, and felt nothing. Just cold, calculating, ready. The reception started. Dinner was served, champagne flowed. Then came the speeches. Trevor's brother gave a sweet, funny toast about brotherhood and love. Then it was my turn. I stood up, tapped my champagne glass, the room with quiet, 200 people looking at me, waiting for the maid of honor speech. I looked at Charlotte, at Trevor, at my parents at the head table, and I opened my mouth to destroy them. But then I stopped. I realized, standing there, looking at Charlotte in her dress, looking at Trevor in his tux, looking at my parents who'd chosen her over me, they weren't happy. Charlotte's smile didn't reach her eyes. Trevor kept checking his phone. My parents looked tense. This wedding, this perfect, expensive, Instagram-worthy wedding, was already falling apart. I didn't need to destroy it. It was destroying itself. Charlotte knew deep down that Trevor would eventually leave her the way he left everyone else. Trevor was already looking bored, already scanning the room, already thinking about what's next. My parents knew they'd chosen wrong, that they'd damaged their relationship with me for a daughter whose marriage probably wouldn't last a year. They were all miserable, and the best revenge wasn't making them miserable. They'd done that themselves. The best revenge was showing them I didn't need to. I took a breath. "Good evening, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Maggie, Charlotte's older sister and maid of honor." The room was silent, waiting. Charlotte and I have been through a lot together. Growing up, we were very different people. She was the pretty, popular one, I was the responsible, boring one. But we loved each other. At least, I thought we did. Charlotte's face went pale. When Charlotte asked me to be her maid of honor, I was surprised. Because 2 years ago, Charlotte started dating my ex-fiancé while we were still engaged. Gasps from the crowd. Trevor stood up. Maggie, don't. Sit down, Trevor. My voice was steel. He sat. I spent 2 years being angry, hurt, feeling betrayed by the two people who should have protected me, my sister and my partner. I felt erased, forgotten, like my pain didn't matter because Charlotte and Trevor's love story was more important. My parents were frozen. And you know what? I was going to come here today and expose everything. Every lie, every betrayal, every reason why this marriage is built on a foundation of selfishness and shallow infatuation. I had a whole speech prepared, 20 minutes of receipts, of patterns, of warnings about who these people really are. Charlotte was crying. Trevor looked like he wanted to run. But then I realized I don't need to, because you all already know. Deep down, you know this marriage is a mistake. You know Trevor has a pattern of leaving. You know Charlotte took something that wasn't hers. You know my parents chose the wrong side. And you're going to have to live with that every single day, wondering when it's going to fall apart. Because it will. Trevor will get bored. He always does. He'll find someone new and shiny. Maybe a coworker. Maybe someone at the gym. Maybe a waitress who smiles at him the right way. And Charlotte? I looked at my sister. You'll finally understand what you did to me, how it feels to be replaced, discarded, made to feel like you weren't good enough. So, here's my maid of honor wish for you both. I raised my glass. May you get exactly what you deserve. Nothing more, nothing less. I drank my entire glass of champagne, set it down. Congratulations on your wedding. I hope it's everything you hoped for. And I walked out. I left the reception, got in my car, and drove away. My phone exploded with messages. Calls from my parents, texts from bridesmaids, voice messages from relatives. I ignored all of them. Instead, I called Lauren. How'd it go? I didn't destroy them, I said. What? Why not? Because they're already destroyed. They just don't know it yet. I felt lighter than I had in 2 years. Not because I'd gotten revenge, but because I had finally let go. 3 months after the wedding, Charlotte called me. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. Hey. Her voice was small. What do you want, Charlotte? You were right. About Trevor. He's cheating on me. With someone from his office. I found texts. I should have felt satisfied. Vindicated. Instead, I just felt tired. I'm sorry that happened to you, I said, and I meant it. I'm sorry for what I did to you, she was crying now. I'm so sorry, Maggie. I was selfish and cruel, and I ruined your life, and I'm so sorry. I know, I said quietly. Can you forgive me? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Someday, I said finally, but not today. What you did, it changed me, made me doubt myself, made me feel worthless. And you can't just apologize and make that go away. I understand. But Charlotte, yeah? Get a good lawyer. And don't make the mistake I did. Don't stay quiet. Don't protect him. Make him face consequences. Okay. We hung up. 5 years later, I'm engaged again to a wonderful man named Daniel who makes me laugh and actually knows how to be faithful. Charlotte is divorced, single, rebuilding her life. We talk occasionally, carefully, with boundaries. She's in therapy, working on herself, understanding why she felt the need to take things that weren't hers. My parents apologized. Eventually, after they saw what Trevor did to Charlotte, after they realized they'd enabled her behavior her whole life. We have a relationship now. Not perfect, but honest. Trevor? He's on his 3rd serious girlfriend since Charlotte. Still following the same pattern. Still shallow. Still empty. And me? I learned something important from all of this. Revenge is tempting. God, it's tempting. When someone hurts you, you want to hurt them back. Want them to feel what you felt. Want them to suffer. But the truth is, the best revenge isn't destruction. It's building a life so good that their betrayal becomes irrelevant. Charlotte and Trevor took 2 years of my life. My engagement, my dignity, my relationship with my family. But they didn't take my future. That was always mine. And when I walked out of that wedding reception, when I chose not to completely destroy them, even though I could have, I took that back. Not because they deserved mercy, but because I deserved peace. You know what's funny about revenge fantasies? We spend so much time imagining them, planning them, perfecting every detail of how we'll destroy the people who hurt us. But when the moment comes, when you actually have the power to do it, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is choose not to. Not because you're weak, not because you forgive them, but because you realize they're already destroying themselves. Charlotte didn't need me to ruin her wedding. Her marriage was doomed from the start. Trevor was always going to cheat. My parents were always going to regret choosing her over me. The universe has its own way of delivering consequences. My job wasn't to be the executioner. My job was to stop letting their betrayal define me. If someone has stolen something from you, a partner, a job, an opportunity, your dignity, it's natural to want revenge, to want them to hurt the way they hurt you, want them to suffer. But here's what I learned. Revenge is heavy. It weighs you down, keeps you tied to the people who hurt you, stops you from moving forward. The real victory isn't destroying them. It's building a life so beautiful that their betrayal becomes just a chapter in your story, not the whole book. I could have ruined Charlotte's wedding, could have humiliated her in front of 200 people, could have burned every bridge with my family. And part of me still wanted to. But walking away, choosing peace over payback, that gave me something revenge never could. Freedom. Thank you for listening to this story. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you loved, drop a comment. Tell me how you handled it. Did you get revenge? Or did you walk away? Both are valid. But I promise you, whichever you choose, make sure it's for you, not for them. This is Revenge Diaries, where sometimes the sweetest revenge is simply letting go.